Hi, this is Daniel from theScore eSports, and I am here with your EVO 2016 Melee champion, Hungrybox. How does it feel?
I mean, I wish I knew more words. I wish I hired a poet here to actually describe what I'm feeling right now. But it's the single greatest accomplishment of my entire life. I can safely say that. And I'm so happy, and I did it for all the people supporting me. And like, finally, it's a huge relief.
I wanted, like, you had so many sets there, like so many that went down to last stock, last game. There, you ran through the winners. What was going through your mind in those sets? Everything was so close there. I
mean, Armada's the world champ, and I had to play like a world champ to beat him. So he's just such a formidable opponent, and his consistency, no one will ever match him, consistency ever. But I knew that if I just stayed calm and just really waited for the opening, I could beat him, even no matter how down I was. Jigglypuff is a huge comeback character, and there was so many points in that set where I'm like, well, I threw another EVO, but then I just like, I don't know, something pushed me a little further. I'm like, I'm not going to give it to him. I'm not, and I just didn't do any of those dumb pounds. I didn't do any of those dumb backers, and it was a lot of the coaching that Lewis gave me to like sort of clean that up. Like, don't give him a free win. So I did a lot of that, and it worked out pretty well.
One aspect, was there any, I know, in round you couldn't coach, but what did Crunch tell you in between sets? Was there anything that like really gave it to you? He can come on too if you want.
So I won the first set with like super clutch rest, and then we went right into game one, and right as the game was starting, I remembered, oh shit, I could have gone and talked to him. That was in the rules, and then he had 2 pages of notes, and then so what I did was. That was crazy. So Lewis has all these notes I didn't read, but I don't know, dude. The stars literally were aligned. A shooting star came down and just hit Armada in the face, and I don't even know, dude. It's like winning the lottery. Literally. I need to go play the lottery tomorrow. I'm probably gonna win.
I was wondering, you're saying, you can't find words. It feels so good, but I was wondering really specifically here, and there's another feeling question, but for most of like 2014, early 2015,
right,
stuff was rough. Late 2015 stuff looked better. Early 2016 stuff looked great. How does this feel as, I guess, maybe even like the capper to this story of like you rising in these ranks?
It really is the end of an era, I think, the end of a very long chapter. It's 10 years gunning for this world title, and I finally got it. And there's so many people who doubt me. There's so many people who don't like me or my playstyle because Jigglypuff. There's a lot of people who I haven't been kind to in the past because I was young and immature. And I've been trying to do my best to just bury all those hatchets and just show who I am through my discipline in this game. And that was my main goal here. I knew that I could come really close and not win, but I think pushing myself to that limit and actually getting the win, coming up above everyone else against all odds from losers and doing what I think is the craziest losers, the only time I've ever won a national from losers ever in my life. I think that's my statement.
Speaking of which, I want to ask one more question about the match before we talk about last question, but yeah. Before we get into what you got to say to the people like that, first round of winners, you went down to Plup. You've played Plup a lot. You guys are both Florida guys. What was that round, and what was in your head when you came back for the rematch to bring him down?
I just knew I could beat him in the 3 out of 5. A lot of the tricks that we had gone for Sheik, I didn't do in the first set, because it was the very first set of Melee. I was still kind of shaky on the stage. But once I beat Mango and had momentum, I'm like, I'm going to go for every rest you give me. And I got a lot of those. And in Game 3, I just absolutely demolished him. And in Game 4, it got really scary, and I got the classic clutch rest at the end off an up tilt. And that was a huge relief. And once that happened, I knew, like, I'm going to go straight for Armada. I can do this. And you saw that in the first 2 games. I went up 2-0 against Armada, and then he brought it back 3 games, I think. Yeah. And I went to Game 5 last stock, and I'm going to rewatch that and just be like, how the I don't know. It's crazy. It's
every moment of that was
crazy. None of that should have happened, but it did.
One last question. What do you said you got the doubters, the haters. What do you have to say, to the people who supported you? What is something you want to say to the people who supported you, to your fans who watched you come up all this way?
I don't deserve the fans that I have. They're the best fans I could ever ask for. They're so kind. They're so giving. They're so thoughtful. They talk to me all the time. They post good things, and this Facebook group called Hungrybox Hell, where all the fans are. They just send really good stuff, but also, most importantly, like my mom and my girlfriend, they're like probably my 2 biggest supporters. Like, through thick and thin, no matter what I'm going through, they always just pull for me and be like, we'll do it. Well, we're here for whatever you need us for, even though we don't play the game. Like, we know this is your passion. We want you to succeed. And I'm a very lucky man. I'm an extremely lucky man.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time and congratulations.
Thank you, man.